Hi, this is Greg McIntyre with McIntyre Elder Law, helping seniors protect their assets and legacies. I've talked enough. Steph, take it away.
You know that's not going to happen.
So what she was just telling me, that what'd you say, that I should pay you to be my stylist?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because all this looks really nice on TV.
I don't know about that. I was literally beside myself all weekend, getting ready to go on the live show on WCNC, NBC, Charlotte Today show, because I didn't feel like I had something that was good enough to wear. I was upset.
Unnecessary.
So Guardianships, I really wanted to do a post-show recap and talk about Guardianships. Guardianships are so important. They can be stressful. They can be stressful and time-consuming for the attorney. You know who knows? She knows. Have I been stressing out over some guardianship cases here lately?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, I have. So much. And we can't really go into depth because client confidentiality, but I can tell you that I take them extremely seriously. You can avoid guardianships. Now, what is by having in place general durable power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, a couple of foundational documents.
A little planning
starting
goes
there.
a
A
long
little
way.
planning goes a long way there and can keep you out of court, possibly even with adult protective services if they step in, if there's some report, something like that. Sometimes it's very hard for the family to get the government out of their lives once they're in. And a lot of times I'm brought in those situations to try to help with those situations. And again, the guardianship laws in North Carolina, in my opinion, have constitutional problems for due process, equal protection, the right to cross-examine your accuser, so to speak, and examine evidence. And I'll get into that a little bit on this talk. I'm writing an article right now about that, and I'm going to have another probably live video just on that issue where we're really going to get into that. Stephanie, thank you for being here with me today.
No problem.
So how can a family avoid having to go into complicated court proceedings and costly court proceedings and hash out guardianship? How can they prevent that?
If they have their foundational documents in place, they make sure that they have their general durable power of attorney.
This is my wife, Stephanie, by the way, if that wasn't clear. Okay. Stephanie, you have your name tag.
What? Still have my name tag?
Yes, you did.
I guess I could take that off now.
No.
Or do I need it on in the building?
You're a guest here. You're not part of the talent. You need to probably keep your name tag on.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm all right with that. I mean, if you plan, you need to plan ahead. Make sure you've got your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
Yes.
Plan, just plan.
I mean, we're joking around, but it's no joking matter. It's really serious. Planning ahead can help you stay out of the courtroom there and help your family agree. How about help your family know exactly who mom or dad wanted to have in charge of things? Now, this should only be done if you have someone that you can really, really trust, in your life 1,000% to make those decisions for you. Okay, if you don't have someone in place to do that, then am I that boring?
No.
Okay, then
I didn't finish my coffee.
Then can I pinch you under the table?
Please.
Okay. So yes, appointing those individuals can help you avoid costly guardianship situations that can literally tear families apart. They really can tear families apart.
Ease a lot of pressure on your family.
Yeah, and getting into just the problems with guardianship hearings. If the government, if social services, if adult protective services brings a guardianship petition for your loved one because there's not one, and or there's some question as to whether they're being cared for correctly, a family member could make that report, and sometimes does. A facility could make that report, and it leaves you in a position where you're trying to get in and have some type of say-so in the hearing. How do you do that? Well, you're not a party in the hearing if Adult Protective Services, DSS is the petitioner. Only the petitioner, the respondent, which is the person, the family member that you might be trying to go after guardianship for, right? Or Adult Protective Services is doing that. The clerk, a clerk presides over the hearings, generally not an attorney, certainly not an elected judge presides over the hearing. So the rules of evidence are extremely relaxed or maybe not known. So that's a very different standard there. And it's just, and if you think about that, so the guardian ad litem as well. So there's a guardian ad litem that's appointed to investigate the respondent. So that's the person that we're saying, hey, that person may or may not be incompetent. Let's investigate that. The guardian ad litem is appointed to not only represent the respondent, but also to report to the court on what's in that respondent's best interest, to report to the court about, who should be the guardian, right? So really the guardian ad litem, in most cases, they're really running the proceeding, okay? Because that's an attorney that's appointed. And I would say 95+% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, the recommendation of the guardian ad litem, both as to who should be the appointed person, the appointed guardian, and as to whether someone's incompetent or not, that is followed by the clerk at that level. Now think about that. These are private proceedings, okay, where the actual person presiding over the hearing really isn't the person running the hearing. It's that appointed guardian ad litem. The clerk's employed by the county, okay?
Right.
Social services, who are they employed by?
The county.
The county. Who is that guardian ad litem appointed by?
The county.
The county, the clerk, right? The clerk, right? And who's probably approving that payment. That's, that court-appointed payment. So the taxpayer's paying everybody's salary here, right? They're paying everybody here. And you as a private family member are somewhat left out of those hearings. You're an interested party if you didn't bring the petition, so you can sit in the audience, but you can't introduce evidence. You can't sit at the main table. Even if you hire counsel, they can file a motion to intervene, but it's not guaranteed you're going to get in, that the clerk's going to respect your rights to intervene.
You can't jump up, say, hey.
I mean, you can jump up, but if you cause too much of a commotion, they might remove you.
Right.
And guess what? Do you think these hearings are public or private?
Private.
These are private hearings. These are private, behind closed door hearings that if, be careful because you're shaking that.
Oh, sorry.
These are private closed door hearings that do not have public review. I can't tell you how just animated, how emotional, how invested I am into this process right now. I stayed up late last night, probably finishing about a third of the article that I had noted out and researched the entire thing, but only got to kind of really read out so that it would make sense to anyone else but me. Okay, write out about a third of it, and it's already running with my notes, right, about 9-10 pages. So this thing's really going to be some kind of paper or something, right, on guardianships. But I can't wait to finish it and bring it to you because it's really going to explore the problems with guardianship hearings in North Carolina, the constitutionality of guardianship hearings in North Carolina, and the problem with, I'm really contrasting it with criminal trials.
Okay.
Because I believe, and I've done a lot of that work in the past in another life, you've sat in on many a jury trial that I've had.
I have.
But I believe that the defendant in a criminal felony criminal trial, superior court trial, has probably the most rights of any hearing I've seen in the state of North Carolina. Okay?
I would agree.
So you have the right to be tried by jury, right?
Right.
You have the right to get appointed counsel, and sometimes very good counsel. I don't say so myself because I've been appointed in some of those cases. And I think I did a good job for my clients in those cases. And certainly a zealous advocate. But that's what they're appointed to do, be a zealous advocate for that defendant, right? It's a public hearing, so anybody can come. The press can report on it. Guardianships are private hearings. There's not a lot of stats kept on them, like the stats I was throwing out. Those are based on my experience, that 99 out of 100 times the GAL's decision and recommendation is going to be followed by that clerk. So imagine you're facing life in prison as a defendant in a criminal case. And the judge is removed, who's an attorney, has all that training, that experience as a judge, as an attorney, right? Has all that education. They're removed from the entire hearing, okay? So when they're removed from the hearing, a clerk comes in and sits and presides over your criminal trial where you're facing life in prison, right?
Right.
Let's say that happens, okay? Do you think that would be fair?
No, not at all.
No, it would be fair. Let's throw the book and the rules of evidence out the window, okay? And the reason I'm comparing that is if you take away my right, if you appoint a guardian of the person, guardian of the estate, or general guardian, which is guardian of both, then you're appointing someone to take care of all my money and property.
Right.
You're removing those rights from me. You're appointing someone to take care of all my healthcare issues, right?
Yes.
So you're absolutely removing any of my rights, I can be placed in a home and chemically restrained. Have you ever seen somebody in a nursing home?
Yes.
That is just
Yes.
doped up beyond belief,
Yes.
and that's how they're kept for the rest of their lives?
Yes.
I have seen that too many times. Okay, and that's what's called chemical restraint. Okay, and that happens to people in nursing homes all the time. So therefore, I could be sentenced to life in prison. You know, I guess I have the possibility of parole if somebody is hired, you know, to represent me in that guardianship case and kind of reopen things and maybe say I'm competent again or re-examine it. But it would take that. And usually,
That would be quite a fight.
let's say in the criminal proceeding, okay, that's done by clerk presiding over it, okay? And then it's a private hearing. I'm not afforded that counsel that's just a zealous advocate, right? I'm not afforded that counsel that's just a zealous advocate. I'm only afforded someone who's a guardian ad litem, whose both functions is to report to the court on my best interest. And when you're say representing a criminal defendant, are you reporting to the court what's in the best interest of, hey Larry,
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. Larry just walked in on a video that we're doing. Larry Sprinkle, the Larry Sprinkle. We're going to stop right now and say hey to Larry.
Hey, buddy.
Larry, I'm your biggest fan.
You are?
You gave me a fan the last time we were
I
here.
just-
Yeah, it's actually in my car right now. I meant to give it to you.
Yeah.
Or did I give it to you already?
No.
I'll get you one too. They're
Oh,
half
man.
price today.
It was signed by
Yeah.
you. I appreciate
Absolutely,
that.
yeah. Glad to do it. Yeah, anytime. So are we on the air? Are we
We're live. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We were waxing poetic about guardianship hearings and the dangers of those and not having foundational documents in place, and just how dire circumstances you can get into if, say, the state takes over your money and healthcare decisions, or a family member who you didn't want to take over those decisions, and how there's such a different standard in North Carolina for, say, a criminal proceeding where your freedoms are taken away versus a guardianship proceeding which is presided over by a clerk and a private hearing.
Every state is different.
Every state is different. That's correct. North Carolina is kind of unique because the clerks preside over those hearings. That's not done in most states.
Right.
But there's a concerted effort. There's one at UNC called the Guardianship, the Guardianship effort or something like that. That I'm trying to get involved in to try to help rewrite the law, statute 35A. And I'm involved in a lot of those hearings. So that's what we're talking about. But
We need your help always.
well,
Good to see you.
well, we need your help.
Thank you.
because
It's going to be cloudy today, chance of showers. Tomorrow, dry, high 91. That's as far as I can go right now. Watch this NBC Charlotte.
I grew up at my, half at my grandmother's house watching you all the time.
Well, I appreciate
She
that.
loved you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I mean,
that's very sweet.
seriously. Yeah.
Are you a native Charlottine?
I am. Yes, I'm from this area. Yeah, I grew up.
Not too many native Charlottines.
She is too.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I always love to meet people who are. I love to meet everyone, but
Sure.
anyone who's been here a long time.
Yeah.
That's very special.
That's and rare.
Yeah, and very rare. And nowadays, very rare. A
Yes.
lot of those folks moved on. Thank you. It's good. Good to have you in our station today. Enjoy your this comfortable surrounding right here.
Oh well, it's got the
Nice logo
that
in the
behind it. So
background.
the Nicole set
some
us up.
coffee. Some,
I've had too many cups of
They
coffee
were
right now,
good.
Larry.
All right, we have a
Yeah.
nice machine over here. I can find something for you.
Larry
Yeah.
Sprinkle is Larry's. That's Larry's real name.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
He had two choices in life, which
Yeah.
was to be a weatherman
Or
a urologist.
That's according to Al Roker.
There you go.
That's
Okay,
Al Roker.
okay, that's
According
Al Roker.
to Dr. Al, yes.
That's right,
All right.
that's right.
All right,
Thanks,
you guys
Larry.
take care.
You have a
Thank
great day.
See you.
Okay.
See you around.
Yes, sir. That's kind of cool. I didn't know who she was looking at, and it was Larry over there. And I've had a conversation with Larry before. What a nice class act, right?
Do you remember he emceed the Heart Ball?
Oh, he did
Not
MC the
last
Heart
year.
Ball, yeah, a couple years ago.
It was in the last three or 4 years. Yeah,
So he kind of stopped me I was on my high horse.
you were.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can get back on maybe a smaller horse, maybe a medium horse, not so high.
A pony.
A pony. We'll trot out of here with a pony. Be careful because you'll see.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here, my phone's ringing off the hook too. Let me just
So-
put it down here. Your children are calling.
So in guardianships, there's a great difference between a criminal defendant's rights and someone who's an elderly person, I think there's a constitutional issue here because there's a disparate impact on the elderly in guardianship cases. That is the highest population that's affected, right, by having their competency taken away and guardians appointed. And I think that something more than a GAL needs to be in place to represent the interest of that person. I think that having the private hearings is a problem. Even if they're private, there needs to be stats and oversight. And I think that these things need to be taken care of more in a jury trial than in a just in front of a clerk. I love clerks; they do a great job, but their job their job should not be as a judge to determine if someone has all their rights taken away. I think that is wrong, and I think that needs to stop, and that needs to change in the state of North Carolina. And that's why I get on my high horse, right? Because I don't think that would fly. It's not equal protection under the laws. If you poison my coffee right now, right? You'd have a very different standard as a criminal defendant as opposed to if you tried to say I was incompetent, right?
Right.
It'd be a much different proceeding, and that's not equal protection under the laws.
No.
And that certainly affects the elderly much more than it affects other populations. And that's what, I want to say bad things, makes me angry. It makes me very angry, okay? And it makes me want to get in and fight hard. But you can avoid a lot of these things by having your simple foundational planning in place, okay?
Plan and have an advocate.
Well, just see somebody that knows what they're doing and that can help guide you. We'd be glad to service in that capacity. You can look us up at mcelderlaw.com, or you can go to call us at 704-749-9244. Certainly we cater to the Charlotte Metro and Western North Carolina area. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you. We believe in education, and we appreciate all our clients. I can't tell you how much we appreciate them. She knows just how invested I am in everything we're doing at our office and our clients. I mean, we stay up, I stay up.
It's hard. It's hard to break away from work for you.
They say, your bedside manner, you should not take things so personally. If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, like you shouldn't get so personally invested in your cases. I think that's usually spoken from someone who has a hard time with emotions. I don't. In fact, I wear them right here on my sleeve most of the time. And I believe in that emotional investment, involvement, but there's a price for it, and that price is you take it home. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to the live WCNC NBC show today, and stay tuned. I hope to work with the Guardianship Initiative, which is through I want to say it's UNC School of Government. I've got a meeting with one of their attorneys this week, or we're trying to set that up. I know Mary's trying to set that up. And I want to work to rewrite the guardianship laws in North Carolina, either by having the legislature on board in doing it, or by appealing some of these cases up to the Court of Appeals and Supreme Court. And we're doing some of that right now. I think that the elderly are at risk, and their constitutional rights are not being honored by the current status of the statutes. I think the Guardianship Initiative's big push is to get more data recording so that we know, so that we have numbers to make this argument a little better, and also so that we can change the structure of the hearings, which I think are more geared toward, for instance, in a criminal case, it's you're guilty until, innocent until proven guilty. It's really, in my opinion, the standard's the opposite in a guardianship case, and you can be found incompetent even without the doctor showing up, just kind of writing a letter on letterhead that you're incompetent and sending it in, and you don't even have to be at the hearing. So anyway, look up, if you have any more questions, mcelderlaw.com, or call us at 704-749-9244. Have a great day. Peace.